My shoulders is wide enough to carry a lot of load, but my mind is stronger. I always keep my mind strong, and I'm happy to just be in this position.
I don't know if I've ever witnessed a guy take over a game the way he did in the fourth quarter tonight in person. You know, it's just it was remarkable.
Special guy, man. I mean, time and time again, we have to remind people. He has to remind people. We forget this guy's the greatest player in the goddamn world.
When you just step back and look and marvel at what LeBron is doing at this stage of his career, how he continues to find ways to improve and get better and take whatever team he's on to new heights, that defines his greatness.
I guess as Frank Sinatra would say, I did it my way.
LeBron has done it his way into 9 of the last 10 NBA Finals. I know we keep saying that, but it's still ridiculous. Last year's injury-plagued debut in Los Angeles was, of course, the lone exception. He has 10 total Finals trips in 17 years for his career. Only Bill Russell and Sam Jones have made more, with 12 and 11 respectively. So, Richard, given all of his different trips to the Finals, where does this one rank for LeBron James?
Well, you know, and just in knowing him personally, like, you know, I asked him, I was like, you know, what was the most impressive championship for you? And he said his first one in Miami, right? Because they got winning the championship. I know we're talking about his finals appearances, but for him, his brain doesn't register that way. His brain only registers in wins. He is happy to be here. He is expecting to be here. But ultimately, it's all about if they can get it done and they can win. That's what's most important to him. And he said it's of all the championships, the first one, because he finally felt like he accomplished his goal.
Huh. That's an interesting answer. I'm surprised. I would have guessed down 3-1 in 2016, which, Richard, you know a little bit about because you were there. That was one of the most incredible things I've ever seen. But the reason this one is pretty cool, too, is just all the circumstances surrounding it. You look at the bubble and the mental tenacity it takes to survive it, because we hear more and more now as teams are leaving the bubble and players are back home again, how difficult it is, what a grind is, what concentration it requires. And clearly that's not an issue for LeBron James or for the Lakers, as it turns out. So I'm sure this is a special one because everyone is special, and he's going to be wearing a Lakers uniform if in fact they do it. But if you ask me what's the greatest one of all for LeBron James, I go back to 2016 when you're down to 3-1 against a team that won 73 wins and nobody thought they were going to lose. That was one of the most amazing things I've ever seen.
That's my leader in the clubhouse, too, although, of course, the reason it is because what happened in those finals. So we don't know what happens in this final, so we'll get a revote. We'll get a recount after the series ends. And, Richard, I appreciate it. This is the first time in the almost 20 years I've known you that you've been modest and not picked yourself. So I really, that's lovely
Don't worry.
of you.
Wow. If this segment goes any longer, don't worry. I'm going to figure out a way to weasel it in.
A way to get there. I do think when you look at the ingredients for this run in this finals, you have the fact that he is at the age he is in his 17th season. Jackie, you mentioned the mental toughness. We said that a lot going into the bubble of, oh, it's going to be a case, a game of survivor. But that's really what happened. If you look at especially the final 4 teams that ended up here, the mental tenacity that they had became such a key part of all of their runs. So we've seen that as well. And then, look, the Lakers have been very open about the fact that they are dedicating this to Kobe's memory and trying to represent him. And they're wearing special uniforms that have the Black Mamba print on them, and his first year in LA with all of the drama that came with. So I think it's going to be a very, very interesting run. I'm so excited. Thanks for watching ESPN on YouTube. For live streaming sports and premium content, subscribe to ESPN+.